Welcome back. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. In case you're just joining us, this is Morning Express, exactly 7 a.m. Good morning from wherever you're watching us from. We've just finished with the press review, taking a look at what has been highlighted on the papers. This time around, we want to focus on politics. This segment is called Political Point, where we get to interrogate some of the latest developments within the political circle. One of them being the latest moves within the Jubilee party, even as President Uhuru Kenyatta has actually put on hold the push to fire his deputy, William Ruto, from the ruling Jubilee party, in what confirms reports of a split amongst the party's top officials. Now, according to the Jubilee's vice chair, David Murathe, the decision was taken to allow for the mourning of the late John Pombe Magufuli of Tanzania, as well as fight the third strain of COVID-19. Now, the party's National Management Committee, which had made the decision to oust the deputy president, who is the deputy party leader, held a meeting Monday morning amid reports that there are still some members who strongly are pushing for the ouster of the deputy president. Let's take a look at this report filed by our senior reporter, Chris Thyro, before we deliberate.
Deputy President William Ruto, who is also the deputy party leader of the ruling Jubilee party, can breathe a sigh of relief for now after his boss, President Uhuru Kenyatta, shelved the decision by the party's National Management Committee to oust him from the party. While speaking to KTN News after attending a virtual meeting of the party's powerful management committee, Jubilee Party Vice Chairman David Murathe revealed that they have agreed to shelve the decision in honor of the late Tanzania's President John Pombe Magufuli, as well as respect the partnership between Jubilee and Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM. Murathe, however, indicated that the decision might not be permanent, since they will still be waiting for further instructions on when the party's National Executive Council will be meeting to ratify, modify, or reject the decision altogether. It also emerged that in the meeting, some members were still hell-bent in ensuring that Ruto is stripped of his position as the party's deputy leader. According to Murathe, Ruto's ouster as the deputy party leader has nothing to do with his position as deputy president. The decision to ouster Ruto seems to have divided the party's top organ right down the middle. At the same time, Jubilee Secretary General Raphael Tuju announced that the party will have a media briefing on Wednesday on forthcoming party activities, including the by-elections in Garissa, Juja, and Bonchari. Jubilee has settled on Susan Jerry, the widow of former Juja MP Francis Waititu, for the Juja parliamentary seat, John Opore for Bonchari, and Abdul Haji, son of the late Senator Yusuf Haji, for Garissa senatorial position. Chris Thyro, KTN News.
So that seems to be the latest from the ruling Jubilee party, and we want to deliberate on this particular matters even as we boil over to some other pertinent issues still within the political realm. As hinted earlier, joining me to deliberate on this particular issues, Michael Agwanda joining us from Kisumu. He's a governance expert. Many thanks for your time. We're also joined by lawyer Dunstan Omari from our City Centre studios. Good morning, sir. And we're still joined by Kevin Osido, who's a governance expert. Gentlemen, many thanks for your time. I'd like to begin with you, Michael Agwanda. What do you make of this latest move? Because it seems, according to reports, the highest, the leadership of the party is sort of split on this particular move, with others saying it has nothing to do with the deputy president's position as the DP. It's simply to do with his deputy party leader's position. Talk to us about this. How consequential might this move be?
First of all, I want to say good morning to the public. Secondly, I need to say that the deputy president was elected under one ticket with the president. If they want to remove the deputy president as the deputy party leader, then they must know that they're not just rocking Jubilee from within, but they're actually rocking with Jubilee from the governance. In other words, the ruling party is having a governance issue. You cannot purport to remove an individual who is a deputy party leader and serving as a deputy president from the position of the deputy party leader and not remove that same individual from the deputy president. And what they're trying to say is indeed the relationship between the president and the deputy president is so bad that it's boiling down to, breaking the party in the middle. My warning shot to Jubilee Party is the moment you do that, what you're trying to say is you're splitting Jubilee into two. There are people who are supporting Jubilee deputy party leader, and that is the person of the deputy president of this country. The moment you kick him out, you're actually telling him that you don't deserve to be in this party, neither do you deserve to be in government. And for that reason, what we're trying to tell you is instead of kicking you out as the deputy president, we just want you to smoothly ease out so that you leave the president and his other cronies that are supporting him to continue running the government. That's a tall order. It's a tall order that must only come from the president, who is the party leader of Jubilee and who is the president of Republic of Kenya. And so you can see how difficult this is. But I also want to tell this, the proponents of the splinter in the Jubilee party, that we are having a lame president, a lame duck president. He's a president that will be going home in the next 1.5 years, possibly, slightly more. Or if not, even if you add him 1 more year into his presidency, he'll still have to go home. You don't want to be a protagonistic president to the people you've worked with, because you don't know who they will be tomorrow. The deputy president sitting today, who is also the deputy party leader, might be the president tomorrow. He might be the prime minister tomorrow. He will not want a situation basically where the person is frustrating, tomorrow becomes a president, and he knows very well that he's not just a president of this country, but he's also in business. He's also in oil business. He's also in hotel business. He's also in many, many other businesses in this country. We've known African leaders to be a little bit, high-handed when it comes to dealing with their predecessors that were not nice to them. And for that reason, I'm not saying that he becomes a president, then he might be vindictive. But what I'm saying is that has been seen in Africa leadership. And for that reason, you do not want to really antagonize a possible presidential candidate and a possible president in your country, especially if you know that the law requires that in the next 1.5 years or so, you'll be going home. And so let's be very careful on how we handle this. I know that when it comes to Honorable Mrathe and the deputy president, they seem to have a personal issue. And I think it is a business that perhaps must have gone sour at one point or another, but that should not be escalated to a place where you are humiliating the deputy president and the person of the deputy party leader. I believe that the president has not given a word on this, hence the reason why they're saying we are postponing this matter until the time when the morning of Honorable Magufuli is done. I don't think it is their decision. I think they've reached a place where they're saying this must come from the president himself. And I don't think the president is going to make this call as soon as they may think of it.
Well, Danstan Omari, give us your take, because there are a couple of ways to look at it. The legal perspective that has just been brought up, the party leader and the deputy party leader and the intricacies around it. But the political move, many argue that it's proper to strike the iron while it's still hot. We have claims that all the king's horses and the men are actually pushing for his ouster. Is this the best political move as we speak right now, to hold on and wait as things cool off, as we get to see what major pronouncements will come out later on after BBI? Talk to us about this.
Thank you, Jesse, and thank you, viewers of KTN News and the whole Republic. Let me pass my condolences to the Tanzanian brothers and sisters who lost their president. And also let me raise the question that Kenyans be alert. The third wave of COVID is dangerous, it's lethal. Let us follow the MOH protocols so that we do not get ourselves into such a big problem that we are seeing coming up. On the question that have been raised, one, Jesse, I'll give you a historical perspective to what we are having. In 2017, we had a president whose legitimacy was totally at the lowest question. Raila Odinga had sworn himself in as a people's president. There was the question of legitimacy. There's the question of cessation that was being driven by David India and Raila Odinga and Miguna and the others. So we had a president who totally was a captive and a person who had no way to wriggle out of that problem. He went and negotiated with Raila Odinga to have a handshake. Raila Odinga saw a chance of making William Ruto exit the stage totally, and he let him politically and destroy him politically. For the last 3 years, Raila Odinga has been driving the agenda in Jubilee. Remember, the Secretary General of Jubilee, Tuju, comes from Siaya. Right? Baba Raila Odinga, his home base is in Siaya. The likes of Murade have no constituency. They have not been elected. The likes of Kamanda have not been elected. So there is a battalion within Jubilee, which I'll call like the Belgian dogs of war. There's a time when countries used to hire machineries to fight because they didn't have their own armies. Today, we don't have that concept because every country has developed its national army. President Uhuru Kenyatta has been surviving on hired machineries. One, the first machinery being Raila Odinga and his brigade of ODM. Two, the second brigade being non-elected members who failed to get positions in Jubilee, but who became the leaders of the Jubilee party. Third, the bureaucrats, the cabinet secretaries, the PSs, who have no political positioning, called the deep state. And lastly, President Uhuru Kenyatta now has brought in another alliance called the Sacred Alliance of Musalia, Wetangula, Kalonzo, Gideon Moi, and the others. So when you look at the president, and that is what I agree with Mike Ogwanda, that the president seems that he's fighting his deputy because both of them will be in the ballot come on the 9th of August 2022. The president, by law, whether he likes it or not, he's going. And if he's going, nobody wants him to start causing problems, because if today the deputy president, as Agwanda puts it, accidentally, like the lady from Suluhu, becomes the president of this country, where are we likely to go? So in my view, one, legally, the question of the deputy party leader and the deputy president of this country are joined at the hip. You cannot be in a political ticket where the deputy president and the president candidate are not from the same party. President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto came from Jubilee. It is from the party that they got the ticket to contest for the national positions. Therefore, any attempt to remove the deputy president is an attempt to expel the deputy president from Jubilee, and therefore the deputy president must lose the position of the national deputy president of this country. Are Kenyans ready for that? I don't think Kenyans are ready for that, especially after the president has realized that the Raila Odinga team is shifting. Raila Odinga team has shifted tremendously. If you look at now, we don't have the BBI in parliament. If you look up further, you realize that the Odinga's team is pushing independently of having candidates in by-elections. Jubilee is putting candidates in the by-elections that are coming. So we are likely to see that the president has realized that he's a lone ranger, he's being driven, he's going to be left kwabata, and therefore that is why they are saying that they have stopped the onslaught because of Magufuli. William Ruto and Magufuli are not anybody's. We have never had William Ruto at any time being involved with the CCM party. The CCM party of Tanzania is more close to ODM than Jubilee. Therefore, in my own view, I think that we are likely to see all these being a cropper after the realization that the president is a general without soldiers.
Well, that's interesting views. I definitely We'll want to pick the views of Kevin Osido on this, but allow us to take a short break. Osido, when we come back, I'll definitely interrogate some of the views raised by Wakili right there. Do you believe the party is actually held captive, irrespective of the bodies, the NMC, NEC, and all that? Well, we'll interrogate that after this short break. To stay with Morning Express.